My name is Kenny Kim. I'm a lifelong martial artist, and my mission is to travel the world, find people, and share stories of how Jiu-Jitsu has impacted their lives. I'm headed to Mexico to spend a week with the first family of Jiu-Jitsu, the Gracies. The Gracie name has become synonymous with Jiu-Jitsu, and they have built a family dynasty that has changed martial arts history. Now they are in their 4th generation, and their long-lasting legacy continues to grow and not only produce countless world champions, but has impacted millions of lives. I'm here in beautiful Playa del Carmen, Mexico in November, away from the cold, here by the beach and the ocean in this beautiful resort. Spending my time with the Gracie family. Day one, just got here, we just checked in. All-inclusive resort. I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else in the world filming this season finale of Matt Made other than here with the Gracie family, beautiful Mexico. You know, there's millions of people who train Jiu-Jitsu all over the world, and Gracie's being the forefather of our sport. I mean, I could just imagine someone would love an opportunity or a chance to, meet one Gracie or to get to train with them. Now, here I am, training with 5 Gracies. Not only am I gonna get a chance to train with them and get to know them a little bit better, I'm gonna be sitting down with them at a round table, and we're actually gonna be talking in depth about their story. That's all the time. How many Gracies are there?
If you know, let me know.
Our grandfather it was 5 brothers.
Right?
My grandfather our grandfather, 21 kids.
21?
21. Elio had 11. And, like many of our uncles and cousins had, quite a few kids.
Grandfather had 12?
Yeah.
Was there any pressure growing up with Gracie?
I mean, pressure, there's always pressure, but I think it's how much you let that pressure you, It's things that you just learn how to deal with and ignore in a way, It is like if you feel much pressure, then the weight gets too heavy to carry, So I think it's all about how much pressure you put on your shoulders. Either you keep it very light or very heavy.
But I think Jiu-Jitsu also teaches us how to deal with that kind of pressure and stress.
And diamonds are made under pressure, no?
Right. That's right.
Sometimes people think growing up a Gracie, we get sprinkled a magic golden dust, as a baby, okay, here's your golden Jiu-Jitsu dust.
Here's a Gracie dust.
You know what I mean? Man, we train people, I hate sometimes people say, because you're Gracie, it's easy. Is it nothing, if Roger didn't train the way he trained, he wouldn't be Roger Gracie. He was everybody,
One thing that I seen
I
seen Roger talk about this before, is that when you're Gracie, you have to be twice as good. So people, you fight, it was a tough fight, whatever. People are like, oh, not good enough for Gracie. There's a standard.
My mom always said, listen, you don't have to be a world champ or the best in the family, but you are Gracie, you gotta be a black belt. I don't care what you're gonna do with your life later, but you must have that tool in your box, right? You gotta train to become a black belt one day. And when I say about the pressure of the family, I'll take the pressure over the embarrassment. Imagine I go one day, oh, you're Gracie, oh, do you train? Oh, you're a black belt. Oh no. I'm I have a car dealership. I don't know, So I'll take the pressure over having this legacy and not carrying on.
Yeah. Have you guys ever quit at any time training?
Quit how?
Quit what?
Jiu-Jitsu, training.
What do you mean?
What does it feel like to be a Gracie? Do you have superpowers? You feel like you got superpowers, or you feel like
it feels like we have superpowers.
Probably, yeah. That's what happens.
It's funny because when you brought in the question, how does it feel growing up as a Gracie? To me, I felt like I was raised in the Justice League. You know, or Professor X is because I saw like, and I always say that, like I was never a fan of comics, superheroes, because to me I was living among superheroes. When I was around my older cousins, my uncles, nothing wrong could happen to me. I would feel the safest kid in the planet. And I mean it. I'm not just like saying this because I swear to God, that's why exactly the feeling.
Well, so you guys were doing this before there was any money. I mean, there was no money.
Which money?
So we go from making $1,000 extra cash in my pocket to have no money towards the end of the month, because I had a food sponsorship, and my mom would send me like $100 like allowance just for me to do something, and then but the money. The last 5 days of the month was always like horrible. I said, "Oh, do I have any money?" There was a poor guy supporting another even more poor guy.
I got a sponsorship from the money sponsorship.
From the government.
From the government, but the government in Brazil, everything's so messed up, and some months the thing would kick in, other months it wouldn't. And when the money will finally kick in, I'll buy food for the house and we support each other, and we had like some clothing sponsorship too, geese. So we were happy with the bare minimum.
Yeah, exactly.
We made it like people are spoiled these days. When I see people like, the AC is not working. Oh, the mat's a little bit dirty. Oh my God, this. Oh my God, that. I said, bro, come on.
No,
you know what I mean? It's like
we had nothing, but was the best time of our life.
Was the best time of our life.
If you ask what was the best time of your life, was when we all lived together in the federation.
You guys have to like do an actual documentary or like a remake or write a book about that era, because I'm sure it would be one of those interesting ones. Because we have stories about your grandfathers, the first and the second generation, but the third generation, you guys, like I think you guys are the ones who actually made the biggest moves in the sport. You know what I mean? Like you guys brought it to where it is now.
And the next generation is gonna do more too. You know what I mean? It's just I think this is a natural path. Like I used to have like a high on here, the fourth generation kids, like a monster. Like leading by example too. I think it's a natural order. We got the way paved for us until a certain point. Now we need to help pave for the next generation. They're gonna keep paving forward. So we gotta start like spreading more roads and paving wider roads for more people.
Also because Jiu-Jitsu is gonna grow more and more, right? I think it's just the beginning for Jiu-Jitsu.
Sure. So that's my next question. What do you guys think about the growth of Jiu-Jitsu right now? Is it going into? I mean, because there's this big gap right now. Some people are like, no, it's going in the wrong direction. Some people are saying, no, it's going the right direction.
I mean, this is going to the direction that it's supposed to be going. And the self-defense evolved. It's not.
Sure.
The world is not the way it used to be on the
UFC.
The way people used to defend themselves back then is not the way people defend themselves there now. The knowledge that they have in terms of fighting is completely different. The self-defense moves evolved. Everything evolved.
Right.
So it's when people say the jiu-jitsu is not what it used to be, of course it's not. I mean, it's completely different what it used to be.
When you go home to Atlanta, you want to fly in on a 1925 plane?
Of course not.
And I think it's just going to keep growing. I think Jiu-Jitsu is going to end up like swallowing
I think it already
some of the other
has,
martial arts.
I heard some number. They said it's the fastest growing sport after something else. It's supposed to be like, and that's one of the reasons for the show is I want people to understand that the effects it has on people, not only has it given me a job, and not only has it, put me on a path to be successful in life, because what I learned on the mats, but I think millions of people are benefiting from jiu-jitsu.
I think that, the growth, people more and more deciding to understand first how effective it is, how fun it is to train. If you compare to other martial arts, I mean, I don't know any other ones that is live training.
You're right.
It's the only one that is super fun and enjoyable to do full on live training. I mean, there's no other way to be closer to another human being. In a non-physical way. It's either you're fighting or it becomes sexual. You know, jiu-jitsu, you cut that completely.
If you don't put the hard work, there's nothing. It's not gonna help. And because it's a martial art that you don't take there's martial arts that you take the black belt. You get the black belt a lot sooner. Jiu-jitsu takes a while. It takes many years.
You don't see the guy who's a black belt without living the lifestyle. You see like when his diet changes. His habits change.
Thank you for all of you guys. Well, we'll
Thank
go
you.
back
It's a pleasure, man.
go back to your grandfathers. It's just the family, the Gracie family, for allowing, like, not only myself, but like there's so many people that have jobs because of your family. So many people that companies that are in business because of your family. Like, I think it's very important for our viewers to know that, hey, listen, we got to give credit where it's due, and it's because of your family, because of the work you guys are putting in, and the next generation that the sport's able to grow, and we're able to influence the next generation of people coming up through this beautiful martial arts. So
Thank you.
man, I
Thank
appreciate
for-
you guys.
How is the biggest hugger?
All right, you guys can ready to go train then.
Yes,
Let's do it, guys.
Go.
We're in the training area. It's incredible to be in the presence of these guys. The energy, the vibe they put out. It wasn't just about techniques. It was a lot of fun. The characters, the way they broke down the techniques, the way they interacted with the students there. It's something that I actually brought home to my academy where I'm teaching my students. I think it's more of a personal relationship than just as a coach and a student. It's something that I think every black belt, every coach, and every instructor could see and learn from. It's something that's invaluable, that's not taught off the mat.
So instead of thinking about staying low and kind of like on this angle here, move yourself a little bit higher on the person, right? You also reduce the bridging power because the hip goes up. If you're close to the hip, you're gonna go higher, right? Now this is golden. The entire defense is gone. And now at this point, it's up for me to screw it up. Fight is over here if I get here. If I don't finish, it's on me. So it's almost like my legs are free to move. But if you're thinking about like being super heavy on the legs, your legs are gonna be less mobile, okay? Let's go, 1, 2, 3.
These techniques that are like, wow, it just blows your mind, but it's just a little detail that you're like, wow, that can change the game, So, always a student of the game, and I love learning. I'm happy to be here, to be a student amongst these guys. And next time, make sure you guys are here.
I'm walking the beach. I never imagined myself in a place like this, especially doing what I love and being with the people that I admire. I'm just reflecting back to how Jiu-Jitsu has changed my life entirely. I wouldn't be here without Jiu-Jitsu. All the people that are here for the camp from all over the world, I'm curious and excited to hear their story.
It was December 2020. I was fighting at the Orlando Open and actually broke my nose in my second fight and pushed through and won gold. So Jiu-Jitsu really helps you develop that grit.
I always tell my students, I never tell you that Jiu-Jitsu is easy. It's very, very hard. But we also, as practitioners, tend to gravitate towards other people that take part in this journey with us. Because we know if somebody trains Jiu-Jitsu for 2-3 years, I know they've faced some hardship on the mats, possibly off the mats. You start to respect the people that do that with you. That's one of the best things about Jiu-Jitsu. You wind up being part of this wonderful community.
I live and train in London under Gracie. There's been a lot of ups and downs, and I struggled very much with alcoholism and addiction, but Jiu-Jitsu has really given me a reason to stay sober.
The camp, that's fantastic, man. We get to, work and train here with some of the greatest in the world. What other sport do you get to be able to do that in?
I tell you what, when you're around all these guys, you learn something. Anytime one of them talks, make sure you take the opportunity to listen.
You're tapping into like the secret well over here. The time, the travel, the money, the experience, totally worth it.
If I approach with his both legs facing me, he can close the guard, he can triumph with this, this. If I approach with his legs here, I'm fighting, my arm, his legs are much stronger than my arms, not a fair fight, right? So I cannot engage him with the legs here because I'm just walking straight to close guard, or I'm walking straight to a triangle. So before I approach, before I start passing, you need that. Now I go, because the leg is between my legs. There is no dangers to triangles. One of his legs is neutralized. Now he's going to shoot the other one not to let me get too close. Because the moment that I pin one leg down, if the leg is not between us, his arm is never enough to stop me getting, to pin him down.
The moment was surreal, being invited to document the camp, but also as one of the camp guest instructors. It was a big honor for me to be able to share a little what I know about Jiu-Jitsu with the greats, the giants of our sport.
I want that. As I'm here, he starts to come with the underhook. That's when I beat him with my underhook. Okay, guys, time. All right, let's bring it in, guys.
All right, 3, 2, 1. All right.
So I got to sit down with Gregor. He had to take off early. He barely got permission to come down to the camp because his wife was literally having his second child. So had a great conversation, got his intake on what he thinks about, the history of Jiu-Jitsu, the Gracie family, and where Jiu-Jitsu is going in the future.
What a pleasure to be here. I know, your wife's pregnant. I know you got to take off. That's why I'm sitting down with you like this. But man, this episode of Matt Made, I really, it's actually probably the ultimate Matt Made story because we're actually calling it the Gracie Made, right? Nice. Gracie Made, because actually, like one of the black belts said, I think all the jiu-jitsu practitioners and academy owners, brands, it's because of the work your family did that we're able to do what we do and enjoy this lifestyle and spread the love for jiu-jitsu. You're the youngest brother of Hollis and Igor. Now tell me about growing up in that household. I mean, was it just all jiu-jitsu? Was it,
Yeah, well, it was pretty much all jiu-jitsu. I'm pretty younger than them. It's like I had two professors at home all the time, Right. We used to go train, and then whenever we came back home, Hollis and Igor was like, oh, we were doing this wrong in training. So it was amazing. And growing up in Brazil has a very big soccer culture.
Right.
And I remember at school, all my friends, they wanted to be I want to be like a soccer player. I want to be Zico. I want to be like the famous soccer player at the time. And I never had that dream to be. I always said, no, I'm definitely going to be a fighter. I'm not going to be a soccer player.
What does it feel like to be Gregor Gracie?
I think when I was younger, I have felt pressure before, especially competing, always having to perform well and so on. Nowadays, I don't feel this much. I think that I love what I do. Even when I'm on vacation, I go train. It's like I can't not train and not teach and so on. I don't have to, but I want to spread, to teach, and it's my passion. It's what I do. It's how I make my living, and I love it. So I feel that I have to keep, pushing, spreading, teaching, and just putting jiu-jitsu out there.
Right. For you guys, do you plan on having your kids be involved in jiu-jitsu? Hard? Do you want to push them, or is there a fine balance of okay, we want them involved, but we don't want to push them too hard?
I think you'll be his choice. He can either train or he can stay locked in his room. So
that's a great alternative, right?
No, I'm kidding. No, I really want him to train. I think he has to train. if he wants to follow as a career, then it will be up to him, you know. But it's like, just like he has to go to school, he has to train jiu-jitsu. So beneficial for you, especially nowadays with all this like bullying and so many problems out there, you know, kids with depression and so on. And I think jiu-jitsu is one of the best medicines for that, you know. I
truly believe that.
It's why you're gonna wait for the problem to be there for you to try to find the medicine, you know.
Right.
It's right there for all of us. So he'll definitely train.
Out of your family, who was the hardest to deal with, and who's the funniest? And you know, just tell me a little bit about, like, you know, your personal, like, people that are around you, family members.
Sometimes I think Igor can be the grumpiest.
Middle child.
Yeah, he's also Holly is the oldest, but then Igor and then me. And he used to beat me up a lot when I was a kid, so definitely will be him, you know.
Yeah.
I think most guys, we're very quiet itself, but once we get to know, everybody has like a funny sense of humor. Just getting to know, you know.
The patriarch, Enzo, is probably the head of the household, especially in New York and with you guys.
Definitely.
I know you guys train with him often. That's like, you know, the guy, you know what I mean? And to a lot of people, but especially to you guys too. So talk a little bit about Enzo. Like, you know, did you grow up training with him too? Does he give you life lessons? Like,
he's an unbelievable person. You know, he's an incredible human being. Me, my brothers, we're in New York basically because of him. He opened the doors for everyone. Incredible human beings. Yeah. If he has, you know, if he has one sweater, you're cold, he'll take off his sweater and give it to you. Just the person he is. I think that the biggest goal of the Gracie family is to spread jiu-jitsu. What Carlos had in mind, that was his plan. And I remember one time I was still fighting MMA. I was talking to my uncle, Carlinhos. And then he's like, man, why are you still doing this? You know, why are you fighting? And then I'm like, I like it. And then he's like, the reason we fought MMA before was to spread jiu-jitsu. Yes, it was to show everybody that what this art was. But now everybody already knows. So I said, no, I'm doing because I like it. It's I love doing this. It's like, okay, if you love it, that's fine. But you don't have to do it because, you know, you want to prove something. I said, no, I never did because of that. So I think this is the goal of the family, and I think that we should represent this. It's a great honor to be part of this and to spread such a amazing art, you know.
We're at the end of the camp. Not only did I get a chance to train with the third generation, fourth generation of the Gracie family, I got to sit down with them and listen to what their ultimate goal was. When a family gets together and they have one goal in mind, that goal is to spread jiu-jitsu.
You know, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you and your family. Without it, like I was just talking to one of the black belts, this is my job, this is my career, this is my passion. Without it, I wouldn't know what I'd be doing. So thank you. I thank you and your family, and I appreciate your time, and safe travels back home.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
As we wrap up, I couldn't imagine a better season. Now we're just getting started. And I can't wait to see what we have in store for us for season 2. My name is Kenny Kim, and I am Matt Made.